Hi, this is Kiyomi Emmy with IndieExpress.com, and I'm here with Pablo Fendrik, correct?
Yes, Pablo Fendrik.
And he is the writer and director of La Sangre Brota, which means blood appears, or as we were just speaking before the camera rolling, blood squirts or
Yeah.
spurts.
Please don't make me say that in English because my English is not that profound. That it's not that good.
Oh, I think you're doing a very good job of it. I would like to ask you if you can just give us a synopsis of your film, please.
I try. It's like everything happens in one day, and it's about the day that some family system they have to not being aggressive with each other. Well, that system collapsed that day, and the film is about that day. That's the synopsis.
Synopsis. You, in some of your director's notes and the production notes that you have provided for the media, you said that you had a really interesting experience with a cab driver that sort of helped for you to write the treatment of the film.
Yeah, it was like more like a starting point. I was back from living abroad in Spain, and one night, very early in the morning, I bumped into this cab driver who started talking to me about this bridge game in a very intense way and like very passionate. So I started to think about what's wrong with this guy? Why is he talking to me like this in the middle of the night about this mysterious game? So I started to think about this guy. He even gave me a business card, like bridge teacher.
A bridge game teacher?
Yes, bridge game teacher and a cab driver at the same time. So I started to think about this guy, and that was the starting point for writing about this character. And then in, the movie is not about that at all, but it was just like a starting point for many other things that I have in my mind from since I was a teenager.
Because you focus on a relationship between a father and son as well in the film, correct?
Yeah, it's mainly about that. It's about that relationship that it barely happens in the film. I mean, they cross their path just twice, and you're following each one of them in parallel all the time. But when they cross, very huge things happens between them. That's the way we approach to the father and son relationship.
Did you base the father and son relationship on your relationship with your padre?
Sort of. No, um, in some, it's of course everything is magnified by fiction always, but it's kind of I know that feeling, when I was a teenager, this kind of living in a complete parallel world from my parents and everything, and when they don't know, they don't have a clue what you're doing, and just at the same time you don't have a clue what these guys are all about. So it's mainly about that, and as an extreme of that, the film is about that they both want the same thing. They're after the same goal, that it's bringing back some other son that is living in another country for a few years now, and they are both trying to help this guy to come back. But since they don't speak to each other, they kind of fight for the same. Yeah, and they fight for some money they need, and they want to reach it, and this is kind of a competition between them. They could work together, but since they don't speak to each other, they cannot work it out, and they clash, pretty much.
Is this your first feature film?
It was supposed to be my first feature, but it took me so long to do the fundraising that in between I made another film. So this became my second film. Yes.
Oh, so this originally was supposed to be your first one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be my first film, but yeah, it took me like 3.5 years to actually, get the money.
And how did you raise the money for, especially being an indie filmmaker?
It's when you have some money from a loan from our government, and then it's a co-production between Germany and France. It's a French, German, Argentinian co-production.
Talk about cross cultures.
No, it's more about being when you have to design a project that it's attractive for all those audiences as well, and so then you can get money from their foundations and everything. I got money from this film from France, Germany, Holland, Spain, and Argentina, in fact, because there's other countries already also helped me during the development of the script and stuff.
You need to give a class on how to fundraise in many, many countries.
Yeah, or my producer, which is the real professional here. I just follow him, and I do all this paperwork, like writing all those synopses and treatments and everything in different languages and different profiles, because they expect different things from you in every different country. So you you know, you're telling always the same story, but you have to change your point of view or your approach in order to make them understand where you're going to. So it's kind of tricky sometimes.
So, mm, um, I have one more question for you. What is your advice to first-time filmmakers?
Mm, get a proper producer, you know. Yeah, get the right producer for you. I mean, a guy who actually picks up the phone, talks to you, know this kind of people that you have to, you know, reach for days in order to just talk to them. You need a partner, not not some big shot who is, going to rise all the money and make you famous. It's not about that. It's about finding a partner, something who works shoulder to shoulder with you. That's main key. And then to have a script or a project, whatever it means, that you can be committed with for years, because it's gonna be, you gotta work on this thing for years, not just months. So you're better, convinced that you have to tell this, that you have to express this, or whatever it means for you to do that project, but you have to be strongly committed with that. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good answer. That's a very good answer. Well, Pablo, thank you so much for speaking with me this afternoon. And best of luck with the film. Oh, it's afternoon somewhere in the world, I'm sure, yeah? In your country, for sure. And this is Kiyomi Emi with Pablo with IndieExpress.com.